You walk into the kitchen with one clear thought in your head. You know exactly why you're there. You can feel the purpose in your legs, in your hands, in the direction of your eyes. And then halfway through the doorway, it's gone. Just gone. You stand in the middle of the room, blinking, holding nothing. You call it a senior moment. You blame your phone, your stress, your terrible memory. Almost everyone has felt this exact confusion in this exact spot at some point in their life. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain didn't lose the thought by accident. It deleted it on purpose. And it did this because of something ancient, something built into the architecture of your mind long before kitchens, before doors, before houses existed at all. To understand why, you have to go back to a place with no walls, no rooms, and no safety guaranteed beyond the next few steps. For most of human history, there were no doorways. There were thresholds, a tree line, a riverbank, the mouth of a cave. Every one of them marked the same thing, the boundary between one world and another. Behind you, a space you already understood. Ahead of you, a space you hadn't checked yet. And unchecked space was where the danger lived. Psychologist Gabriel Radvansky at the University of Notre Dame spent years studying a strange pattern in human memory. He gave people simple tasks. Pick up an object here, carry it there. Sometimes there was across the same room. Sometimes it meant walking through a doorway into a new one. The task was identical. The distance was often the same, but the results were not. People who walked through a doorway forgot more, consistently, reliably. Not because the walk was longer, not because more time had passed. The doorway itself was doing something to their memory. Radvansky called it the location updating effect. Most people just call it the doorway effect. Here's what it means, in plain terms. Your brain doesn't store memory as one long, continuous stream. It chops your day into chapters. New room, new chapter. The moment you cross a threshold, your mind quietly closes the file on everything that happened in the last space and opens a fresh one for the next. And whatever thought you were holding in your hands right before that boundary, it often gets left behind, filed under a room you just walked out of. Why would a brain be built to do something so seemingly counterproductive? Because for almost the entire span of human existence, forgetting the wrong thing at the wrong doorway could get you killed. Imagine walking into a cave still thinking about the berries you were gathering outside. Your senses are elsewhere. Your guard is down. If something is waiting in the dark, your distraction is the difference between noticing it and not. Cognitive scientist Jeffrey Sachs at Washington University in St. Louis has spent decades studying how the brain breaks experience into pieces. He calls this event segmentation. Your mind is constantly asking a quiet background question. Has the situation changed enough that I need to update what I'm paying attention to? Crossing into a new space is one of the strongest signals your brain uses to answer yes. So the moment you step through a doorway, your brain performs something close to a reset. It clears working memory. It reallocates attention. It prepares you to reassess the new environment as if it might be dangerous. Because for most of your species' existence, it might have been. This is not a flaw in your memory. It's a threat response system, wearing the disguise of forgetfulness. Think about how deep this instinct runs. Even now, even in a fully modern brain that has never once had to worry about a predator behind a doorway, the reflex still fires. You still feel it. A tiny flicker of alertness every single time you cross into a new room, even if you can't consciously name it. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux, whose research on the brain's fear circuitry reshaped how scientists understand threat detection, has shown that these responses don't live in the part of your brain responsible for careful, conscious thought. They live deeper, in older structures, the ones your brain built long before language, long before doors, long before you had any way to reason your way out of danger. Those structures don't wait for permission. They act first and explain later if they explain at all. That's the counterintuitive twist. You've always assumed the doorway forgetting was a bug, a glitch in an overloaded modern brain juggling too many notifications and too little sleep. But it isn't new. It isn't a symptom of your phone or your stress or your age. It's an inheritance. A survival tool, still running exactly as designed, thousands of years after the world that built it disappeared. Your ancestors who paused, however briefly, however unconsciously, at the mouth of a cave or the edge of a clearing were the ones who noticed the shift in wind, The flicker of movement, the silence where there should have been birdsong. The ones who walked through boundaries on total autopilot, still replaying yesterday's argument or tomorrow's plan, were the ones evolution quietly edited out. You are descended from the ones who paid attention at the threshold. Now look at your life today. Look at how many thresholds you cross without a single predator in sight. The office door, the elevator, the front door of your own home. Your brain does not know the difference between a doorway that once separated safety from a leopard and a doorway that separates your bedroom from your bathroom. It only knows boundary, new space, reassess. And so it clears the mental desk every single time, whether or not there's anything on the other side worth clearing it for. This is why you forget the reason you walked into the kitchen. This is why a thought that felt unshakable in the hallway evaporates the second you cross the threshold. This is why so many people, standing in the middle of a room, quietly retrace their steps back through the doorway they just came from, and the memory floods back the instant they do. That's not a coincidence either. Researchers have found that walking back through the same doorway can help restore the very context your brain just filed away. Cross back over the boundary, and you're handed back the chapter you thought you'd closed. So the next time it happens, the next time you're standing in a room holding nothing where a thought used to be, consider what's actually taking place. It isn't failure. It isn't your memory falling apart. It's a security system installed hundreds of thousands of years ago, still running its default program, still checking every new space for danger before it lets you get back to your grocery list. You walk into the kitchen with one clear thought in your head, and somewhere behind your eyes, a much older mind is already asking a different question. Not what did you come in here for, but what's waiting for you on the other side.